Hey everybody, today's a video on my new series where we do overviews of the XR series mixers. We're going to look specifically at the XR Edit software and talk about everything in specific tabs so that you know what you're looking at any given time. And we're going to start doing that right now. Let's go! So today we're talking about the main tab, and let's just jump right into it because this is a pretty short one. As usual, you have your tab here where you see the name of your input. You can name it wherever you want. We'll leave it as mic 1. We'll also change the color. Let's do black text on a gray background. And then this meter here shows us the input level of the channel. The way to adjust that is going over to the input tab and changing your gain here. You can see that has a direct effect on the meter. And that is all this is for, showing the sensitivity of the input or whatever we have our gain set to or our trim for USB. So let's put that down. And then the very next thing we have here in the main output section is our left-right button. So if you have something on the channel that you have selected and you want to use that channel for something other than the main mix, you can actually click that button, and now this channel is no longer going to your main left-right mix. A really good use for this would be, let's say, a click track, where you're sending that click track from channel 1 maybe to a whole bunch of in-ears that you have set up on all your buses. Now, to be able to adjust that signal on the fly, turn it up or turn it down, maybe you don't want to click the bus, then go in and adjust the level manually for each one. So what you could do is have it set post fader so that this fader actually adjusts the level. And then anything you do right here while you have your main mix up would adjust how much is going to your buses. But of course, if it's a click track, you do not want that click track to go out to your main left-right mix, your house mix for front of house, whatever you have going. So the simple solution, click that button. Now it keeps the signal going anywhere else you've routed it, but removes it from the main left-right mix. Pretty awesome feature to have. Here is your panning. So this is literally just panning the selected channel inside your main left-right mix. So let's look, I'm going to pan it all the way over to the left. And if we go back to the mixer tab, we can see that reflected here. And let's just see, I'm going to grab it and pan it all the way over right. And if we go back to our main tab, you can see that has changed. So this is just a way to adjust your panning and also a visual representation of where you have that signal panned. If you double click in the center, it goes back to center. Now here we have DCA groups. I cover this in more detail in another video, which will be linked for you, but basically you can add channels to a group so you can control things all at once. And you have 4 groups that you can choose to assign a channel to. You can only ever assign a channel to one group at a time, but let's look. If I click 1, you can see it's now represented here, telling me that this channel is included in DCA group 1. If I move it to 2, that changes to 2, 3 to 3, and 4 to 4. Makes pretty clear sense there. Again, I'm not going to go into detail. This is in another video. That brings us to mute groups. I've covered this in other parts of this overview series, but just to reiterate, if you want to be able to mute more than one channel at a time from a single button press, you can add the channels to a mute group. Now, unlike the DCAs, you can add a channel to all of the groups if you want, or one of the groups, or 2, whatever you want. So let's add channel 1 to mute group 1. And you can see I got a little red square down here. I can also turn it on and off from this position. So let's, right now it's in mute group 1. I can add it to mute group 2, 3, and 4 if I want to. Let's leave it in 1. And now we're going to add channel 3 to mute group 1 as well. Now down here on the right are your actual mute group buttons. So if I mute group 1, or I activate mute group 1, you can see that channel 3 and channel 1 are now muted. Very quick way to be able to mute groups of channels at one time with one button press. Let's turn that back off, turn these off, select this channel again, and that brings us to auto mix. Again, I've covered this in a different video in more detail, so that will be linked for you as well. But basically, you have the ability to auto mix multiple microphones, so you don't have to continually raise or lower volume. If you have, say, a panel of people speaking, you can have those microphones mix themselves. And you have two groups that you can add microphones to or channels to. You have an X and a Y. If I select X right now, you'll see it pops up here. And if I change that to Y, it pops up there. Obviously, that tells you you can only ever assign a channel to one group or the other, not both at the same time. But this is where you would do that assignment and then wait here. If you have if you have channels added to an auto mix group, you have the ability to weight them. And what that means is give them more or less importance in the group. So let's say I have 3 microphones and one microphone is, let's say, the host microphone. And I want that microphone to override the other 2 microphones whenever the host is speaking. Well, to do that, I would give it more weight, meaning more importance in the auto mix. If I wanted them to not override the other microphones and I wanted the other microphones to override them, then I would pull down the weighting, thereby giving them less importance in the auto mix group. And then we have our gain reduction meter, which you're not going to see anything here because I don't have an auto mix group set up. But basically, if this microphone was being overridden or pushed down, suppressed by the other microphones in the group, you would see the amount of reduction in gain that was being applied by the other microphones. You would see it here. You would see a red line coming down to indicate how much it's being pushed down by the other microphones. That's pretty much it for AutoMix. I will link that for you in the other videos so you can go into that a little deeper if you want. And that brings us to the last thing here in the main tab, and this is the output meter. Just like every other tab we've discussed, this is the amount of level after you've made any and all adjustments, and it tells you how much signal is going out to the mix after you've changed things. So right now, if I pick up this microphone, you're going to see that because I'm set to Unity here, pretty much Unity. Let's go to Unity. You're going to see that this level in matches this level out. So to see the difference there, because we haven't made any real adjustments to speak of, so there's nothing to see difference here. But if I leave the gain set where it is, actually, you know what? Let's turn the gain up for this so we see a little bit more signal here. And then if I pull this fader down, this still represents what's coming into the input. So nothing I do here is going to change this level because this comes right after the input. But you can see that we've got significantly less signal over here on the output meter because I've pulled this fader down, and if I keep going all the way, it disappears entirely. So there you go. Now you know what you're looking at anytime you're in the main tab of the XR series mixers. I hope this video was interesting, entertaining, educational, and if it was any of those 3 things, please be sure to like and share and subscribe. You can also check us out on Patreon, or you can join the channel down below, or even leave a super thanks down below if you think anything I've done here is useful to you. Thanks to everybody who's already done that, and until we see you next time, thanks for watching here on Quickies. Bye everybody.